Good morning, Year 2. This is Mrs. Kettenan. Your learning objective today in literacy is to compare fiction and to give likes and dislikes. Last week, we enjoyed reading Lost and Found by Oliver Jeffers. Today, we are going to watch the animation. The animation is really exciting and it's on for about 25 minutes. As you watch the animation, think about how it is the same or different to the storybook. You may want to pause the video as you're watching it as well. You can have a look. Now, I would like you to pause my video so that you can watch the animation of Lost and Found. I know you're going to enjoy it. Now that you have watched the animation, which I hope you enjoyed, you may now want to listen again to Miss Hussein reading the story Lost and Found, just to refresh your memory, because it was last week when we read it. What I want you to do now is, with a grown-up or a family member, I want you to chat about some of the similarities and differences between the animation and book of Lost and Found. Now, similarities means things that are the same or nearly the same. Differences means things that are really not the same. Okay, pause the video while you have a chat with your family member. Now that you've had your chat, you will need to go and get a pencil and paper or a whiteboard and marker so that you can draw a comparison chart. Now, when you are drawing your comparison chart, you will need to have two columns. In one column, you need to write the heading Similarities. In the other column, you need to write Differences. Okay, so let's think about some of the similarities between the animation and the storybook. One of the similarities is that the characters are the same. They both have a little boy and they both have a penguin. In both of the stories, they go to the South Pole. And in both the animation and the storybook, they also visit the Lost and Found office. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to think of at least three more similarities. And I want you to write them in your comparison chart. When you are writing your similarities, remember to include full stops and capital letters. Now, here we go. I've written an example. They go to the South Pole. Now, you'll see that I have my capital letter at the beginning of my sentence and I have a full stop at the end of my sentence. Some of you may be wondering, why have I got South Pole? Why do those words have a capital letter at the beginning? That's right. It is a proper noun. It is the actual name of a place. Now that you have written your similarities, I want us to think about the differences. Yeah, things that are not the same between the animation and the storybook. Now, the first thing I noticed was that in the animation, the narrator was using great vocabulary. It was very interesting. Also in the animation, we saw the boy's morning routines. We saw him get out of bed. We saw him brush his teeth. And we saw him make his breakfast. That didn't happen in the book. And another big difference is that in the storybook, the boy was telling the penguin stories while they were on the rowing boat. However, in the animation, he wasn't telling the penguin stories, but they were listening to the radio. Okay, now I want you to think of and add at least 3 more differences. And there are quite a few. Remember that when you are writing, you must remember to include full stops and capital letters. Okay, now, I actually want you to pause me again and then come back once you have done your comparison chart, because I have another activity for you guys to do. Now that you have finished your comparison chart, I want you to think about, which did you prefer? Prefer means to like the best. Did you prefer the book or the animation? And why? Go and chat with your grown-up or family member. Pause this video and come back when you've done that. Now, in your best handwriting, I want you to write a sentence or sentences about which you preferred. I want you to give at least 2 reasons. You may even want to write a sentence as well about which you didn't prefer and why. When you are writing your sentences, remember full stops, capital letters, and a joining conjunction. A joining conjunction is a word that can join 2 short sentences together. For example, because, also, however. Here we go. I've written down a couple of examples and I've remembered capital letters, full stops and joining conjunctions. Let's have a look. I prefer the animation because I like the music as it adds suspense to the story. Can you see that in my sentence I have started with I prefer? That sounds much better than I like. I like is a little bit boring. The animation also has an octopus helping the boy and the penguin. I thought this was very exciting. Okay, now off you go, do the work. Okay, and then you can share your wonderful writing with your teachers when you have finished. Bye.